friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm going to be showing you my summer favorites for 2024. Can you guys believe this is already volume 3 of my seasonal favorites? It's my longest running series on my channel. If you're new here, I am a big seasonal wearer, so I love filling up a swatch wheel with some new and old polishes from my collection that I want to wear in the season. It is pretty straightforward, but I will talk more about it at the end. For now, let me just show you my summer favorites. The very first polish that I have is KBShimmer's Picture This, and it is this super gorgeous pinky red kind of fruit punch shade that is absolutely packed with this golden shimmer that also shifts to green and blue in extreme angles, and there's these silver holographic flakes as well. This one came out a couple of years ago, but I only picked it up sometime last summer, and I have been so obsessed with it. It is such a gorgeous freaking color. I just love shades like this in the summertime, and I'm so excited to wear it. It's the shade I'm wearing in the intro and outro. Next up, I have Cirque Colors Flamingo, and this was from last year's Kelly Marissa collab. It is a super beautiful, warm-toned, peachy pink jelly base with another golden shimmer, and this one is packed with silver micro glitters. It's one of the shimmer graphic formulas, so it is super sparkly, especially in more direct sunlight. It might look a little similar to the previous shade, but this one's a little bit lighter and a little more orangey, but still absolutely gorgeous. Next up, I have Lurid Lacquer's Go Forth, which I had shared somewhat recently in one of my haul videos. This one is described as a grapefruit pink crelly base with a vibrant orange to gold shimmer, and I am just so obsessed with it. I don't like grapefruit as a fruit, but I do really love it as a scent and also just the general colors of it, and so I love that this is described as a grapefruit pink. I absolutely love how glowy and intense her shimmer polishes are. If you have not tried Lurid yet, I hope that you do sometime soon because they are so stunning. They are a little bit on the sheer side, so I am showing this in 3 coats on the swatch wheel, but the color is so beautiful, just like a summer sunrise. This next polish is ILNP's Pink Slush from the watercolor collection. It is quite possibly my new favorite pink jelly. If you don't know, I love jelly polishes, especially in the summertime and especially when they're pink, but I have not come across a warm, medium-toned pink yet, and ILNP has answered my calls with this shade. It is just so beautiful, so juicy. I am just so in love with this shade. Like, not to be dramatic, but actually, yeah, I'm gonna be dramatic. This is the pink jelly of my dreams. Now, this next shade might be a little bit of a surprise to you. You probably saw it stick out so much on the swatch wheel, but this is Holo Taco's Hot Take, which came out in last year's Fire and Ice bundle. In case you don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of orange-leaning red polishes. I already don't wear red creams as it is, so shades like this were just never really on my radar, but when I actually tried this one last year, I was so in love with it. It is just so loud, so in your face, and it has the perfect name too. Up next, I have KBShimmer's Flip Out, and this is a super bright, borderline neon, I'll say, coral-leaning orange crelly with another gold shimmer. I'm a big fan of that if you don't know. But yeah, I feel like this just needs no explanation. It's one of those colors that you see and you're like, yeah, it's 90 degrees out. I'm gonna be by the pool all day. It is just so stunning. On the first coat, it is a little bit sheer and you definitely see a lot of that pinky coral sort of color, but it does build up to this beautiful orangey shade the more coats that you do. So freaking stunning. I can't wait to do a full manicure with this. I know that yellow is one of the least popular nail polish colors, and that breaks my heart because I do love a good yellow polish. And in the summer, I especially love a super bright sunshine kind of yellow. I wanted to highlight one of my absolute favorites in my collection, which sadly is not around anymore because this brand is not around, but this is Orosa Star. It is so beautiful. I feel like there's a little hint of warmth, which I think is so perfect for summer. The next color that I have is Cirque Colors High Society, which was just re-released with the California Dreamin' collection. It was previously one of their 420 shades and honestly probably one of their best ones, but it is a beautiful neon lime green that says it's filled with a copper shimmer, but I kind of just see it as gold. And there's a dainty hollow sparkle as well. This is just one of my favorite finishes from Cirque. I just love every polish that they do in this finish, but I especially love a lime green in the summertime. So this was a no-brainer. I had to include it. It is just so stunning and I'm so happy it's back. This one is a little bit on the sheer side though, so I definitely would recommend doing 3 coats or using a blurring base. Another lime green that I absolutely love is Trust Fund Beauty's Skinny Margarita, which I think came out a couple of years ago, and honestly, I do think mine faded a little tiny bit. It looks a little bit more white-based or pastel maybe. I feel like it was a little more neon before, but honestly, I really love the color that it kind of changed into. It's still so bright, so it's almost like a bleached neon, I guess, and it is just super stunning. This is one of those polishes that I kind of forgot was in my collection, and so I'm excited to use it again. The only thing I don't love about this is the brush. Next up, I have another re-release from Cirque. This is High Roller, which came back in this year's Vice collection, and I'm especially excited about it because I actually voted for this shade to come back. It's described as a neon mint, and I don't really agree with it being mint because I usually think of mints as being more green, and this is more blue, so I would call this an aqua. But either way, it is a quintessential summer shade that I'm so excited to wear this season, especially as a pedicure. In a similar vein, I have OPI's I'm Yacht Leaving, which I think came out last summer, and it is this bright turquoise cream that is just so freaking gorgeous. I feel like it's picking up very blue on camera, and the last shade is almost looking a little too green, so apologies that it's just hard for me to capture the true shades of these. But if you imagine a really bright green-leaning turquoise shade, you definitely are thinking of the right color. It is super gorgeous, just one of those shades that pops on your nails. I just don't remember the formula being so thin on this one though, where it was still really streaky on 2 coats, but I'm definitely very forgiving because of the color. The next polish I have is Mooncat's River Styx, and this came out in last year's Underworld collection, and it's described as a teal blue lacquer filled with green shimmer. So you can already start to see there is a pattern with the shades that I am drawn to in the summertime. Though I don't know how many of you would agree in calling this a teal, because to me it's just like a very turquoise blue. But either way, I love the combination with that green shimmer because it is just so strong, so glowy. I feel like it also gives mermaid vibes, which I'm also a big fan of. It is just such a beautiful shade. Similar to a bright yellow, I also love a bright sky blue cream in the summer, and I think Ave Polish's LA Looks is so perfect. Sadly, this one isn't around in her shop right now, but if you do happen to have China Glaze's Sure Feels Good, that is a really good dupe for this one. This is a 1-coater though. It is literally perfect. The next shade I have is ILNP's Skate Date, and this is from the Summer Nights collection that came out a few years ago, but I did recently review it in the last couple of months. This is described as a teal blue jelly, but I don't think there's enough green in this to be a teal. I think I would say it's a little more like a turquoise shade. It's not really a sky blue either, but however you decide to describe it, it is a beautiful blue for the summer. It definitely looks really sheer here on the clear swatch wheel, but it is so pretty, especially with that contrasting orangey shimmer. I feel like this color combination always reminds me of the sun setting over the ocean, and it is just so pretty. Up next, I have Orly's Off the Grid, which I think came out last summer. I already don't remember, but it is a striking cobalt blue that is just so bold, so beautiful. As much as I love the lighter, brighter shades in the summer, I still am obviously craving some slightly deeper, but still very punchy colors too. But I think this is definitely the darkest that I would go in the summertime. It is just so beautiful though, and definitely giving Sally Hansen OG Pacific Blue vibes, which I also love. So I normally wear my glitter polishes for the holiday season, but KBShimmer's Hexy Bikini I think is so perfect for summer. It has this beautiful mix of silver, hot pink, aqua kind of glitters that are both metallic and holographic, so it is just so sparkly. I don't know why, it kind of reminds me of like crushed shells or something, but it is so beautiful for a beach day. So I only have one true purple polish for my swatch wheel this summer. I just tend to not really wear purples that often this season compared to others. But this one is Nailed It's Star Chaser, which I think was part of a Sparkle and Shine collab that my bestie got for me for Christmas. It is a super delicate kind of lavender crelly base with this super fiery red to gold shifting shimmer. And there's some shredded hollow flakes in there as well. It is just such a magical shade that totally gives me sunset vibes. It just reminds me of the sun setting and the sky's on fire and the clouds are purple. Another kind of summer sunset polish, in my opinion, is Polish for Days Blossom, which came out in her spring collection. This is an orchid pinky purple base with a really strong orangey to yellow shifting shimmer. On the first coat, it definitely does look similar to the previous shade, but you have to build it up to see that more orchid pink kind of base. It is just so vibrant. I normally don't go for pinks like this, but this one just took my breath away. If you couldn't tell, I'm just such a sucker for glowy, fiery kind of shimmers. I just cannot get over how much I love this one. This should not be a surprise. I'm including Cirque Colors Flamingo from the California Dreamin' collection, which is a super bright neon pink with this icy blue shimmer and a dainty hollow sparkle. As a certified pink lover, I just love all pinks, but this one, she is the head of the committee. Literally so perfect. I want to scream when I'm wearing this shade. It is just so freaking beautiful. I'm sorry if that's being like over dramatic, but literally this shade just makes me go feral. I don't even want to put into words what other things this polish makes me want to do. Just understand that she has that power because she is that pink. And last but certainly not least, I have another bright and bold neon pink, and this one is ILNP's Two Piece. This came out in the Poolside collection, which was their first release of creams a couple of years ago, and it was one of those lineups that just lived rent-free in my head for years, and I only reviewed it last year, and it totally lives up to the hype. It is just so beautiful. Honestly, any shade from that collection could easily fit into this wheel, but obviously, I'm going to be picking the pink because it is just so flawless. And here is a look at my completed swatch wheel. So I went back and made sure everything except for the creams had 3 coats. Not because all of them need 3 coats, but this is a clear swatch wheel. So just to really build up the base colors and make those shimmers pop as much as possible, I just wanted to build them up in 3. And of course, everything is also top coated, so it is extra shiny. I just love how bright and colorful this wheel is. I feel like I have a pretty good mix of creams and specialty finishes, mainly shimmers, with only one glitter topper being Hexy Bikini, but honestly, that is more than enough. And no surprise, definitely a lot of blues and pinks this year as well. So here is the full wheel a little more zoomed out so you can see the whole thing. I feel like it kind of looks a little bit darker, probably because of shades like Holo Taco's Hot Take. I feel like that one almost looks out of place, but I still really love it for the summertime. And here is last year's wheel for comparison. You can see that the color palette is definitely very similar. I just like what I like. I really do gravitate towards the same kinds of shades like hot pinks, sparkly aqua, lime greens. But yeah, overall, I feel like last year's wheel is a little bit brighter, like more on the neon or bleached neon side, and this year's is a little bit darker. And even though they are both very similar, I did not repeat any shades this time. So that wraps up my summer favorites for 2024. As always, I can't wait to hear what you think of this year's swatch wheel, and especially if you have any favorites in common with me. Obviously, I am obsessed with how this turned out. I feel like so many of the colors really came to me, and it was just so fun to sort of fill in the gaps and see the swatch wheel really come to life. I feel like it's just so bright and beautiful. But to be totally transparent, there is one shade that I really regret not including in the swatch wheel, and that's Potion Polish's Painted Sky at Dusk. I first shared this when I picked it up last year in my little potion polish haul, and it is this super beautiful pinky purple kind of base with this really strong gold to copper shifting shimmer. It is literally one of those like sunset in a bottle type of polishes, and I just feel so bad forgetting about it and not including it in my wheel. I feel like this also could have worked so perfectly in my recent video going over my favorite vacation or tropicore shades. It is just absolutely stunning, and I just had to talk about it. But I obviously still love my swatch wheel the way that it is. I feel like because this kind of leans more orangey, it would probably work really well in place of KBShimmer's Flip Out. If only the swatch wheel could be a little bit bigger. But yeah, had to talk about that. Let me know what shades you're loving on this season, and if you've noticed any patterns over the years of shades that you go back to. Like I showed you in my comparison portion of this year's favorites versus last year, the color story is definitely very similar. I just love reaching towards those same kind of shades, but the biggest surprise is that like red orange with Holo Taco's Hot Take. I'm already somebody that doesn't really wear plain red nails. Like, they're beautiful, but I don't know, I just don't go for it that often. And I've always been picky about reds that lean a little too orange. I just never found them flattering on me. Over the last year, and I feel like maybe starting with that shade, I have really come around to just enjoying them so much. So I'm really looking forward to wearing that shade as a full manicure. I think I want to just go all out with it. As much as I would love to wear all of these polishes as like full manis, I usually end up picking some shades and then doing like a nail art look with them, so I'm still wearing the colors in a way. I feel like that red deserves its moment. If you did love all the colors that I shared today, I am gonna have links in the description box with where you can find all of them. Some of them are gonna be affiliate links, so if you do shop through them, you are gonna be supporting me and my channel, and as always, a big thank you if you do that. But either way, I would love to know any and all thoughts that you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!